Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Crummell. We begin with big airline news involving an airline that serves Harrisburg International and other surrounding airports. Seth Kaplan joins us live now with more on this story. Good afternoon to you, Seth.
Hey, James, good to see you. And if you're wondering why I stepped away from the ABC 27 booth here at the York State Fair, that's where I am, but want to get straight to that big airline news. Basically an airline love triangle that we've been covering for months. 3 airlines involved, one of them Frontier Airlines, which is at HIA, the other 2 at airports surrounding Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Baltimore. And first of all, the object of affection here is Spirit Airlines, an airline that especially people here where I'm standing in this part of the viewing area, used to driving down to Baltimore, Washington International for those very low base fares on Spirit Airlines, one of those ultra low cost airlines. It'll offer you a cheap base fare, but then charge you extra for almost everything else. Spirit is, as I mentioned, being chased by 2 other airlines. One of them is Frontier Airlines, which flies to Denver from Harrisburg International. Frontier is similar to Spirit. It is also one of those ultra low cost airlines, low base fares, charges extra for almost everything else. The other airline chasing Spirit is JetBlue, which is sort of more of what you might call a bundled product. Free snacks, free seat assignments, free in-flight entertainment, free Wi-Fi on board. And they both want Spirit, only one of them's going to get it. Shareholders are voting today. We might have an answer by about 4 o'clock today. Back live, James. You know, when you walk into Harrisburg International Airport, you kind of look to your left at the ticket counters. You see American, United, Delta, the big 3 global airlines. To your right, you see Frontier and Allegiant, which as of now are much smaller airlines. If Frontier succeeds in buying Frontier, it will suddenly become a rather large airline, the 5th largest airline in America, right behind number 4, Southwest, which is not at HIA, but has a huge presence, the biggest airline of all, down at Baltimore, Washington. So a lot here to watch with big implications for airfares for consumers too. More coming up tonight at 5, one of those situations, James, where it's not that we know more and just don't have time to get to it at noon. We really don't know. We'll tell you as soon as we do coming up later.
Yeah, we're still waiting and watching to see what happens. Seth, when we're talking about, though, for regular people like you and me, flyers, is there one that consumers should be rooting for to win out over the other?
Well, both airlines, JetBlue and Frontier, say that their deal is better for consumers. That's the argument companies always make. And it's not that a merger has to be bad for consumers, but let's be very honest. Companies merge for their own good, right? Maybe to make some extra money. Frontier, as I said, a lot like Spirit already, and they don't overlap as much. So you'd be taking Frontier, which actually, although they're here, does more in the western part of the U.S. Spirit, which does more in the east, and kind of putting them together. And you can kind of picture what that airline's going to look like. Again, one of those ultra low-cost airlines. JetBlue wants to buy Spirit and make Spirit a part of JetBlue. So on one hand, you might have that more bundled offering. But on the other hand, those 2 airlines overlap a lot. They compete a lot against each other. And so the concern here is whether regulators are going to say, you know what, that's bad for consumers because one less competitor could mean higher airfares, although JetBlue, for their part, says that's not what's going to happen. They say they're going to be able to better compete against the even bigger airlines.
Seth is our aviation expert, and he told me I can ask him anything, so I'm going to try this for you, Seth. I've ridden on a Spirit airline before, and they don't have a lot of leg room in those planes. If they merge with one of these other airlines, will that change?
It won't change if they merge with Frontier. It will likely change if they merge with JetBlue. So that's the trade-off. JetBlue generally higher fares, but yeah, more legroom. In fact, the most basic legroom without paying extra that you get on any airline in America. And they say they're going to do that with Spirit. The question is at how much of a cost that would come.
Seth Kaplan, that is why I come to you, the man with the answers. Live for us today in York. Thank you very much for that report, and we'll keep updated on this situation.